Hi, this is Asha Saxena for Intelligent Luxury. Welcome to the show.
And I'm Julie Faupel, Asha's co-host. Welcome. Welcome right back.
You have to stop making me laugh.
I will, because I'm funny.
I
Asha,
know.
that's like my whole, that is what I bring to this whole
Oh my
thing.
God, okay, I know.
You're the brains of the operation, and I am the funny sister.
I know, you really are.
Yeah. When you and I met,
Yes.
we were immediately friends. The more we got to know each other, the more our thinking was so aligned in terms of this being such a pivotal time in both data and technology and everything that you work in, and luxury and kind of lifestyle and everything that is my discipline. We're in Scottsdale, Arizona, and we're in this beautiful facility, and the fact that you came in for an event being hosted by Realm, real estate and technology has not necessarily been something that has gone hand in hand historically, but it's such an act of friendship, and I think what you're seeing is there's so much curiosity around what you're doing and how it is innovating aspects of our lives that we never even anticipated.
Absolutely. But I also have to tell you, the reason I'm doing it because I love you so much. And I think that's what the world needs now. We have AI, we have machines, we have programs, and we have so much data. But what really matters at the end is the relationship. It's the human connection. I'm super excited about this podcast. The audience will enjoy so much because we are going to have fun while doing it.
It's always fun with you, Asha.
Thank you, everyone. And please continue watching because we're going to have guests who come from all around the world and going to talk about luxury in real estate.
We have a lot to look forward to.
Looking forward to it. Hi, this is Asha Saxena for Intelligent Luxury. Today, I have Paul Benson from Park City, Utah. But really, Paul, you operate the entire west of United States.
Pretty much every city that you would want to be in, we have an office with Engel Völkers.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I was talking earlier with some of the folks from our panel, the Futurist, and I was talking about what our task was to really talk about the future. So I would love for the audience to actually hear what your viewpoint was on where is the world going?
Well, that's a question that we all want the crystal ball, right?
Yes.
We want to know.
Exactly.
But, I think there are some indicators out there that, for example, it's clear that people are no longer going to need us for information, which it's easy to say, but for our entire real estate career, no matter who you are, you took pride in being the only source of information.
Right.
Like we were almost guarded with that information. Every time something like a Zillow came out, we would get nervous, like, oh my gosh, someone else has our information. So then we'd try to double down on, well, but you don't know this. And I think that pivot point right now of, hey, it's not about the information anymore, exposes us to be a little bit more real with what our value is to our clients. Are we truly servicing them? Are we using our emotional IQ to make sure that whatever it is the client's going for, it could be a divorce, it could be a debt situation, it could be something very private, health even. And this is a time where our ability to use that emotional EQ and to be empathetic and to make sure that we're leading with service is it's going to separate who's really going to thrive versus not being in this industry anymore.
Paul, I really was fascinated by your passion for customer and service. And when you talk about customer and service, of course, we know when we talk about luxury, if you're going to Four Seasons or the Ritz-Carlton, and when the help comes and stops and says, good morning, sir, you're going to this room or whatever it may be, when they know your name and they know where you're going and they want to help you, you feel good. When you go to a restaurant and the host knows who you are and comes and says hello to you, it feels good. Knowing your customer is an important aspect of feeling luxurious. If it's a restaurant, if it's a house sale, if it's a hotel, I think having that recognition is important when you are working with an agent or advisor. When you think about, I love this example of Netflix. When Netflix came, Blockbuster was a household name. If you remember, we would go every Friday, we would go to Blockbuster, make it a movie night, and bring a movie and popcorn and a candy and make it a family night.
100%.
Right? And then Netflix comes around. And Netflix is, nobody knows that. And they mail you a red envelope, and then you get this movie, and you put your interest in the queue. So maybe the next movie will be mailed to you based upon what your choices are. But what Netflix did, they really understood the customer behavior. They understood what the customer wanted to see. And what they did, they started collecting that data, and they then streamed the movies and then created original content. And they said when they actually created original content, it was a big hit because they knew what the customer wanted. They actually were studying their customers so carefully that they knew what the customer would want before the customer knew what they wanted.
100%.
And that's the power of having a technology in your hand, because you can do your research before you actually serve the customer. So when you're so focused on your customer to really serve them well, this tool becomes your asset. So when the agents, and I was talking to some of the agents, and they were talking about, oh, I'm nervous about using technology. And I would say to them is that it is so critical that this is a powerful tool that you have in your pocket. If you don't use that to serve the customer or really understand your customer, you're going to be left behind. You're going to have a competition who's going to use it. What are your thoughts on that?
100% agree. So one of the things I see is that if you right now call your money manager and you say, what's the value of my portfolio, my holdings anywhere in the world, in seconds you'll have that information. We can also get on E-Trade or Fidelity or whatever our online investment account. In seconds, here's the valuation of everything we own. In the real estate world, it's like, okay, well, let me call my realtor in Park City. Let me call my realtor in Chicago. God forbid, I have something out of the country.
Yeah.
So we have doubled down on that in the past few years, where we will refer business outside, and then we'll actually teach each other something that, I've even spoke up about, submarket specialization. Like, hey, be an expert where you know things.
Right.
And for obvious reasons, you don't want to go to a city that you really get your client in trouble, because that's not serving the client. So that game has shifted.
Yes.
So now that we have that information on this phone, where we can do our due diligence, find the best source, find the best person, find the best, neighborhoods ahead of time in cities that we've never been to, it does allow us to open up our boundaries a little bit more, a little less geographic boundary. That doesn't mean we're not going to still need an expert in that area, but whether it's for the real estate side, the attorney side, whatever the situation is, we're still going to need to rely on others, but we're probably going to use that phone in our pocket to find those others, and it allows us to be more involved, because ultimately our client does deserve, if he's going to hear that you're a global advisor, he deserves, or she deserves, to call you up and say, what's the value of my portfolio in Tuscany today?
Right.
I want to know every single home I have in the country, in the world, and I want to know what it's worth today, what I could sell it for, how long it's going to take to sell, what do you need from me? And that client expects you to have that answer, I think, in our future.
Right. And I think that's the value, as you're talking about, that the agents or the advisors or the professionals need to make sure that they're learning the tool to be able to ask the good question. And if the tool gives you an answer, not take those answers as what you're going to share with the audience or your customers. Make sure that you actually challenge AI to get the right answer, which is really, really important. You deal a lot in luxury market. How have you seen luxury market change?
I'd say luxury has changed dramatically just in this past year. For the last several years, I've seen the shift into more of a sense of purpose versus a thing.
Yeah.
It went from, okay, certain bathrooms or views, or I want a ski property or golf property. And then how many cars can I put in my garage, right? And then you started hearing about the branding. I want an auberge or an aman attached to my neighborhood. And then I started seeing that shift away from clients saying luxury is, more geared towards what is the sense of purpose with it. Because the last several years, the wealthy clientele made money easier than they've ever made money. And that segment of our population grew their wealth at unprecedented percentages. So it no longer was hard to grow wealth. And I even describe it to some degree as a guilt set in.
Yeah.
And okay, how do I give back? How do I protect? How do I protect my generations down? Because it became really clear that our future generations might not have the same opportunity.
Right.
Our kids are going to possibly struggle a little bit more. So I have seen the shift in this meaningful, purposeful way of protecting not the money, but protecting the generations, and at the same time having the predictability, having the trust. That's become a new luxury. The last couple of years, it was really spa and wellness. That was the buzz. But if you dug deeper, if you really asked the questions, it wasn't about where to go get a great massage.
Yeah.
It was about how to live longer.
Yes.
And then as you dug deeper, it wasn't because this person needed more experiences and needed more lives. It's because they wanted to make sure they're there to protect their future generations.
Yeah.
So watching the shift in luxury and watching the responsibility that is bringing out, how do we serve that? How do we start thinking about how to protect their kids, and help them make the right decisions on the right assets instead of being transactional? How do we guide them through this? And I think that's where the advisor definition really rolls into the luxury world.
What you just said about this is the time where people are making money probably easier than ever before. I truly believe we are in this age of intelligence. It's giving us a lot more opportunity to actually become wealthier or have opportunity to grow or to evolve or to innovate. We are blessed to be in this
Yes, we are.
age where we can actually be in our workforce, use this technology to get ahead. There's so many opportunities to continue evolving. And I truly believe that our audience would need to keep investing in themselves to make sure they're evolving and growing.
100%.
I want to thank you, Paul, for being here. Really appreciate it. Great conversation. I'm sure I could probably talk to you for another hour, but because of the time, we have to close. Thank you so much for listening to us. Thank you for investing in yourself, because as you listen to all the experts and the futurists, it is about investing in yourself, learning from every single conversation, understanding where you can add value to your customers, to your service, and constantly keep innovating to yourself and to your team. I wish you all the best in your journey of learning and innovating. Thank you so much. This is Asha Saxena, Intelligent Luxury.